Hi everyone and welcome to Moonstone Makes. My name is Tommy. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as DynamiteTrujillo. Welcome to episode 124. Thank you so much for being here today. If you're a new viewer, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, a big welcome back. Today is a bright and clear and sunny, but cold Sunday in October. Here on the Northern California coast where I'm coming to you from. Thank you so much for being here. If you're interested in anything I talk about today and want to check into it further, check the description box below. That's where my show notes will be, where I will link to everything that I talk about. How are you on this lovely fall day? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty tired, but I'm pretty good. So today, I have some stuff. I've got some stuff. First, I will talk a little bit about the make-along that we've got going right now. It's the Moonstone Makes Halloween make-along, and it's running over on Instagram with the hashtag Moonstone Makes Halloween, MAL. If you're not on Instagram, email me, or if you have a private account, you can DM me with your entries. That is fine. And it doesn't have to be finished objects. We're just making anything Halloween inspired and posting about it on Instagram. So anything that you're doing for it, any craft, anything is welcome. Just use the hashtag and we can collectively kind of look at each other's spooky Halloween stuff. And at the end of the make-along, which will be pretty soon after Halloween, I will go through the hashtag and randomly draw for a couple prizes. And I have gotten one prize in the mail that I'm going to show you, and it's a beautiful bag from Katydid Bags, and it's very seasonally appropriate. So it's this awesome pumpkin bag. It is a drawstring bag with a faux leather handle and a faux leather bottom. It's really pretty. So that is one of the things that I'm going to be giving away, and I'm very excited about that. So moving on to what I'm wearing a cardigan that I knit, I don't know, a while ago, sometime in the past couple of years, probably a couple of years ago. It's a pattern called Salal. It's the Salal Cardigan by Andy Satterlin, and I knit this in some Green Mountain Fiber, that's not right. Green Mountain Fiberworks? Green Mountain Spinnery. Green Mountain Spinnery, New Mexico organic wool. If my memory serves, which it probably doesn't because it doesn't really work anymore, it's 100% non-superwash Rambouillet. No, it's not Rambouillet. It's Merino. What did I say it was? Sorry, I just got a DM from Katie from Katydid Bags telling me that she has a coupon code for you guys too. That's like such perfect timing. I literally got it right now. So the coupon code is Tommy10. So if you liked that bag or want to check out her other bags, she has like a whole Halloween collection right now. I'll link to her shop below and use the code Tommy10 for 10% off starting tomorrow. So, starting Saturday, what's the date? Starting Saturday, October 11th. So thank you, Katie. That's awesome. Anyway, I was saying, this is, okay, so it's New Mexico organic. I think it's merino. I can't remember. I don't know. It's wool. And it's lovely. I love this yarn. I've talked a lot about this yarn in the past back when I was using it, and this is like one of my favorite yarns I've ever used in the entire world. It's so amazing. I love it. It's this really beautiful oatmeal-y color. You like my elbow? That's my elbow. And this cardigan is awesome too. It's got this lace panel that kind of creates like a triangle down the front, and it's got these buttons, which I love. I found these buttons at my local fabric and yarn shop called Fabric Temptations back when I was making this cardigan, and I bought these buttons just for this cardigan. I love this thing. It's a cropped, like negative ease kind of thing. So for me, I would wear this over like kind of the fit and flare style dresses. And I haven't worn any dresses like that for a while because it doesn't really fit into my lifestyle or my body right now to be wearing dresses like that. But I still really love this cardigan. And this yarn is just so bouncy and wonderful. And as you can see, probably, if you watched my last episode, I haven't mended my ways yet. I still have all my cardigans and sweaters on hangers, so this business is still happening. But thank you so much to everyone. Oh my goodness. I gotta do something. Thank you to everybody who suggested things about how to store hand knit sweaters, cardigans, and stuff. As I said last episode, I do it bad. I do it the wrong way, and I just hang them on hangers in my closet. And I have reasons, but they're not good reasons for doing it like that, and I need to change. So pretty much what I think I'm going to be doing, I think like the most popular thing that people said that they do is they hang them on hangers, but they hang them like pants, like over the bar of the hanger, rather than like you would a regular garment. And a lot of people store them like in drawers in a dresser or wardrobe or something like that, which I think is probably the best way to do it, but I don't want to do it like that because I don't trust myself and I am scared of just stashing my things away in a dark place where they're gonna just like with each other and I can't see them, you know what I mean? I will never wear them and I will forget about them, and who knows what will happen to them in the dark by themselves. I don't know. So I need them out. I need them aired. I need them present. You know what I mean? So they've got to be hung up in my closet. They just do. And I think the best suggestion was to throw them over the bar of the hanger. Some people use like really special, like, I don't know, like silk hangers or like just certain types of hangers that like kind of do it this thing less than other hangers. But I think I need to just go through and throw them over. And like a lot of people said, the downside of that is it's bulkier, so it takes up a lot more room in your closet, but I don't know, it's better than this. Okay, moving on. That's what I'm wearing. I love this thing. I love the yarn. I love Andy Satterlund's patterns for the most part. Okay, so let's talk about my finished objects. So I do have a few finished objects. I have some knitting and some crochet finished objects. And my first finished object is a pair of socks. And it is my We Are the Weirdos Mr. socks. And this is yarn by Nomadic Yarns. And this is them. It's a really beautiful self-striping yarn with such lovely colors. It's got like, I feel like it's got like sections, right? Like this is a section and this is a section. So it's got like a lighter section with green and pink and like taupe, and then a darker section with like this bluey purple and black. And then this stripe here, it might look black on screen, but it's actually a really dark green. And I used a contrasting heel and half cuff color. And this yarn is Knit Picks Stroll Tweed, and it's brown. I don't know the colorway, but it's brown. And the Nomadic Yarns is also a tweed base. And I love these socks. I've already worn them a few times, and I'm like super in love with them. Here's the other one. So for these socks, I knit them cuff down like I do. And I did 60 stitches for my cast on. A German twisted cast on is what I did. And a 2x2 cuff for a little while. And like I said, I did like half, well, like maybe a third of the cuff with the contrast color. And then I did just a stockinette sock with a heel flap and gusset. And I talked last time about the way I like to do my heel flaps and gusset to prevent 2 extra ends to weave in. And essentially it's that I knit with my main color, and then when I start the heel flap, I knit across the first row of slip stitches with my main color, and then I drop it at that point and then pick up my contrast color, and that makes it so that when I go back to pick up my main color, it's in the right spot for me to not have to cut and reattach it. So that works for me. And also thank you to those of you who suggested your methods of doing pretty much the same thing. If you want to know other ways of doing that, definitely check out episode 123's comments, because there are some really good ideas of essentially doing the same thing to where you don't have to cut and reattach your main color when you're doing a contrasting color heel. So that's what I do, and it works really well for me. As I said last time, for this one, the main color goes into the heel flap a little bit, and that's just because I forgot to change colors for a little while. And then I did like a regular wedge toe. And I do my toes pretty much how I make them fit is as I'm knitting down my foot on the foot part. I'll knit until I get to the end of my pinky toe. I just try it on as I go. I knit until I get to the end of my pinky toe, and then I start my toe, and I do the kind of toe where it is knit around plain, and then knit every other round with your decreases. And my decreases I do like, I'm trying to remember, unless I'm actually doing it, I get mixed up on like which decrease is on which side, you know what I mean? But whether or not this is right, because I can't think of it off the top of my head, is I'll do like, an SSK knit across one half of my toe stitches, knit two together, and then on the other half I do the same thing, you know what I mean? So you're decreasing 4 stitches just on the sides every other round until I get to, I think I usually do 8 or 10. Yeah, I do 8. I went down to 8 stitches on each needle because I do magic loop. 8 stitches on each needle, and then I Kitchener for the toe. And that usually works out pretty well for me for a nice little triangular toe. Look at that tweed. Oh, I love it. So yeah, I love these. I had a 50-gram ball of this yarn, and I had barely any yarn left over, and it's great. I love having barely any yarn left over. And I got a pretty decent length sock, and it's, you know, because I used contrasting for here and here, and I had a half skein because I split this skein with Maria from Woolen Forest Knits, and so she's knitting similar socks. So we are sock twins, and I'm very excited about that. This is my first finished object and my first entry into my Halloween make-along, because these are my Halloween socks. So the colorway is We Are the Weirdos Mister, which is a Craft reference, which is a 90s movie about teenage witches. So it's very Halloween appropriate. So I'm super happy with those socks. I love them. Okay. My next series of finished objects are some washcloths. I crocheted 3 new washcloths since my last episode, and I blocked the one that I showed you last episode. So I'm going to show you all of those now. This is the one that I had already finished, but I have now blocked it. And this is the Jazz Age washcloth. And this is a pattern by Knit Picks. And I crocheted this using Knit Picks Cotton DK in the, I don't know what colorway. What colorway was it? Not that, not that. Creme Brulee, in the Creme Brulee colorway. So this is a really, really pretty pattern. It was a really great pattern, especially since it had a video tutorial, which was super helpful to me. And yeah, it's all blocked and ready to go. The next one that I made is, I think this one goes like this. This is the Sloped Lines Dishcloth by Jenny Konopinski. And this is another free Knit Picks pattern. The Jazz Age was also free. This is all going to be the same yarn. So this is Cotton DK. This one's in the, oh my goodness, what colorway are you? Harbor colorway. So, and these are all crocheted. This one's a little hard to see the pattern on, but that's it. This one, was also pretty simple. Oh, I should also say, the one that I was working on last episode, which was the Textured Comb Dishcloth by Tian Knauten, I gave up on that one. I couldn't do it. It wasn't like really hard. It was just really hard on my hands. It was like the stitches were really tight, so you had to kind of shove the crochet hook through the thing as you're working, and I didn't like working on it, so I forgot that one. And this one, I actually went through a few. I like kind of just searched around for dishcloth patterns, and I started a few and just didn't like the stitches. I didn't like doing them, so I gave up on a few before I settled on the ones that I actually made. And this one was pretty simple. You're pretty much just doing like 3 double crochets in a row, and then 1 double crochet into like that first double crochet hole or whatever, and so it makes like 3 posts and then like a diagonal through them. And it was pretty simple. I did have a little trouble, as I always do, because there was no video tutorial. But I got through it, and I really like how it came out. The next one is in the copper colorway, and this one is, okay, so this one is the corner to corner moss stitch washcloth, and this was just straight up a YouTube video tutorial. And the YouTube channel is Love Life Yarn by Amanda Saladin, and this one was really simple and really fun and really quick. I really like the corner to corner method, and it's a moss stitch. It's a crochet moss stitch. And I had a pretty good time working on this one. I thought the tutorial was really good, and I really like working from tutorials for these things. It's just easier for me when it comes to crocheting. So yeah, I really liked this one, and this one has a really nice drape to it. I feel like this is like the most dishclothy dishcloth out of all of the ones that I made. It's like nice and tight, but still really drapey, and it feels really good. And I think this one's going to be like the nicest one to use. The last one is the Granny's Rainbow Dishcloth by Beth Major Crochet Designs, and this is another free knit picks pattern, and this is just a granny square. And I used all of the different colors that I got in the Cotton DK in this one. And I don't know how a granny square is going to really do as a dishcloth or a washcloth, but I kind of didn't care. I just wanted to do it because I really like the look of it. So I think it looks really cool. I used all the different colors that I got. This middle red is pomegranate, and then there's the copper, harbor, creme brulee. The brown is coffee, and then the copper again at the outer edge. And that was it. Those are all the dishcloths that I have made, and I have one more still on the hook. And that, after I finish that, 5th one, this set of washcloths is going to be complete. And I'll show you the one I'm working on in a second, but for now I will tell you, if you've watched before you already know, these washcloths or dishcloths or whatever, this set plus some handmade soap that I still haven't gotten, but I will at my local co-op later, is a giveaway prize that I've drawn the winner for. So I do quarterly prize drawings. The prize is usually something handmade by me for my Patreon members and Ko-Fi contributors, and also members of this channel. And you can now join my channel if you choose to do so. There's a link below. It's just a little box that says join next to the subscribe button. And what that is you can have a membership to the channel. You get a couple of little perks. Like, they're not much, but they're like cute little things. You can check it out if you click it. And you also get entered into this quarterly drawing. So anybody that contributes in any of those ways, if you do, thank you. I really appreciate it. And you have been entered into this drawing if you've contributed in the past quarter. So yeah, I do a quarterly drawing 4 times a year, and this one is for the third quarter. Yeah, this one's for the third quarter of 2021, and the winner for that is Ariana, who is a pretty new Patreon contributor. So thank you, Ariana. Congratulations, you have won these washcloths, and by the time this comes out, I'll have already messaged you, so you probably already know. But yeah, I will send these out to you pretty soon, along with a couple of other goodies. I have some stuff in like my prize stash that I'm going to include. So you're going to get the washcloths, the soap, and a couple other fun things. So congratulations. And if you want to be entered into the quarterly drawing, check out any of that stuff. It's all linked below. And I don't know what the fourth quarter giveaway is going to be, but something good and wintry, I'm thinking. Maybe a hand-spun hat. I've really been wanting to cast on a hand-spun hat lately. Maybe I'll do a hand-spun hat. I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, a hat and mitten, like, set. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's probably going to be it. Okay. So that's that. I really, like, dig this. Like, look at these colors, too. I'm pretty proud of this little set. And especially because it's all crochet. And, like, I love crochet, but I'm not that good at it. So this was, like, really great practice for me, all of this crochet. That brings me to my works in progress. Because I'm working on the last dishcloth in my works in progress. As a work in progress, whatever. So the last one is being crocheted out of the coffee colorway in the Kotlin. And it's I didn't write it down. I don't know what this is. I didn't write it down. Awesome. Oh, I know what it is offhand. Boom. Okay. So it's a Bella Coco tutorial. And if you've watched much of my crochet stuff in the past, you'll know that I have a granny stripe crochet blanket going. And a lot of people use a written pattern for that. It's a, granny stripe crochet blanket is very popular. Lots of people make it and have made it, and the very popular crochet pattern for it was some written pattern that I don't know, but I need a tutorial. This girl needs a video tutorial. So the video tutorial that I used for that was by Bella Coco, and it's like just the best. And I still reference that tutorial every time I pick up my granny stripe crochet blanket because it's a several year work in progress at this point. And Bella Coco had another tutorial for a washcloth, and so that's what I'm using for this last washcloth. What I did for this one is I ended up just going on YouTube and searching easy crochet washcloth tutorial. And this is one of the search results, and when I saw that it was Bella Coco, I clicked on it and I was like, this is probably going to be the one, after I had frogged like a few, and it was. This one is nice and it's easy and I like it. It's enjoyable and it's great so far. So this is it. So I don't know what the stitch pattern is called, but it's like little stars, and it's actually pretty hard to see in this dark yarn. Like if you go to her tutorial, you can see the stitch pattern way better. But it's little stars all the way across, and it's a 1-row repeat. So you're doing the same exact thing on every row, which is something that like I love in crochet. I love just doing the same thing over and over again and not having like, a repeat pretty much. And yeah, the tutorial is for worsted weight yarn, but this is DK, so I'm just using the same crochet hook that I've used for most of these patterns, and it's a 4mm and it's a tulip hook. And I just cast on, or chained on, whatever it's called with crochet, I'm not really sure, more stitches than called for. And so yeah, that's what it is so far. I'm just going to be doing this until it's a square, and then I'll go back and do a border, which she has included in the tutorial as well. And this is another one that's like super simple. It's just, it's all single crochets, and it's like a single crochet in each thing, in each stitch, over 3 stitches or 4 stitches, and then you like loop them all together until it's a little star, and then you just do that over and over and over forever and ever, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's the last dishcloth, and once this one's done, the set will be complete. Okay, I'm excited about this whole project. I really like these. And I do have leftover yarn, so I am going to make myself some washcloths with the leftover yarn once it's done. And I'm kind of thinking I'll do like multicolored washcloths because I don't think I'll have enough of any one color to do a whole thing in that one color, but I think that's going to look really good because I love all those colors together. I might do the moss stitch again. I think I'm probably going to do like a striped moss stitch washcloth. I think that'll be good. Okay. So my next work in progress is my Daily Ritual Raglan by Park Williams. And this is a top-down raglan turtleneck pullover that I am knitting with some of my hair. Moonstone Dyeworks, which is my hand-dyed yarn company. And this is where I'm at. It still just kind of looks like a big blob. The yarn that I'm using is my yak fingering weight base, which is this one, and my Surrey alpaca lace weight base, which is this one, and it's in the Artemis colorway. And this was part of my fall collection. I think with this colorway, the ready-to-ship skeins have sold out, but I do have pre-orders of this colorway and my whole fall collection up in the shop. So if you're interested in this yarn or checking out any of the other kind of goddess colorways, like autumn goddess colorways, check out my shop below. There are pre-orders still for this. And this is what it looks like in the cake. I'm going to be using 2 skeins of each base. It's beautiful. Oh, I love it. I just seriously love this base. This is a new base to my shop. It's yak and nylon and merino. And it's just amazing. And this is my first time using it too. This is like my test project for this base, and this one too, actually. These are both new bases to the shop. And I'm in love with it, like seriously, really in love. I love it. I love the alpaca base too. I think this is like my preferred like kind of fluff yarn now. It's a lace weight with a silk core with alpaca, like baby Surrey alpaca as the other fiber. And it's just really lovely. And it really doesn't bother my sinuses like some other fluffy yarns do. I enjoy it. It's very soft. I'm having a lot of fun working on this. So for the project itself, I am using my Lica interchangeable needles, and I'm using the needle size called for in the pattern, which is US size 7. That is what I swatched on and got close enough gauge with. My fabric's a teeny bit tighter than the pattern recommendation, but I am knitting the second to smallest size, which is 42-inch bust. So for me, that'll be 10 inches of positive ease, but with my smaller gauge, I think it's going to be a little bit smaller, which I'm kind of happy about. So it's a top-down raglan. This is the front, I think. Nope. Nope. Does it really even matter? No, that's a sleeve. This is the front. This is the front, and it's all scrunchy right now. I'm right to the point where I'm in like the kind of second set of raglan increases before I split for the sleeves to separate the sleeves and the body. And before I do that, I do have to go through and pick up these neck stitches and start knitting my turtleneck. And I want to knit the turtleneck so that I can actually try it on as I knit the body down and get like a good sense of where the neckline is going to sit on my shoulders. So I'll be doing that soon. And it's just really, really nice so far. I'm holding both of the yarns together, and it's just giving a really lovely, drapey, fuzzy, soft fabric. I've got my Forest Charms Progress Keeper. It's a crow. And so far, this is just a lot of stockinette. I'm really excited to get to the point where I can split for the sleeves and do the turtleneck. I feel like once I get that stuff done and I can like try it on and start on the body, I'm really going to be going places with this thing. But I'm excited to give this style of sweater a try in my wardrobe. It's going to be like not really cropped, but like just like right at the waist kind of cropped, which is pretty cropped for me because I pretty much usually do longer things. So it's going to be a little bit oversized. I think I'm going to end up with like 8 to 10 inches of positive ease. And I think the, right here, I think the arm depth, you know, the armhole depth or whatever, the sleeve depth, the arm side, I think it's going to be pretty deep. So it's going to be kind of like, I don't know. I'm thinking like kind of bat-winging, you know what I mean? But not super bat-wingy, just a little bat-winging. With long sleeves and like a drapey turtleneck, and like then it'll come in at the waist with the ribbing, and I'm just really excited to try out this style of sweater because it's not something I wear that often, and pullover styles are still things that I'm experimenting with in terms of knitting, hand knit garments. So I have high hopes for this sweater. I don't know yet, but I have high hopes. So I'm really enjoying this project. And it's exactly my kind of thing. It's lots of stockinette in the round with some shaping. I like it. So that's my daily ritual, a Raglan. I'm also wearing some hand knit socks today. These are some like knee-high hand spun socks that I made a while ago out of Moonrover Fibers, I think. Moonrover Fibers was the fiber that I used to spin the yarn and then knit the socks. I've been wearing a lot of hand knit socks lately, ever since the arrival of fall. Okay, that's it for my works in progress. I have some favorites to talk about, and I kind of wanted to talk about what I've been watching and reading lately, and so I made a whole little list of the things I've been watching and reading, but then I got some things in the mail because I bought some stuff, and so now this is going to be like a double favorite section, which is funny because I usually have like nothing for favorites. So I'm going to talk about what I bought first. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. I'm going to talk about what I bought first. Oh, good. My baby's waking up. That's awesome. And then I'll talk about what I've been watching and reading. So, first, actually, before I talk about one of the things that I bought, I forgot I wanted to talk about what I've been spinning, because I have been spinning because I bought some fiber. So I want to get the current fiber on my wheel, off of my wheel, so that I can start my new fiber. So what I've been spinning is the same thing that I was spinning last time I talked about spinning. I do spin. I am a hand spinner, and it's like an on and off kind of thing. You know, it's not as consistent as like knitting. But I have a Shocked Ladybug, which is my favorite wheel in the whole entire world. I think it's the perfect wheel for me, for this person. It is the perfect spinning wheel. I love it. And on that wheel, I have been spinning this beautiful fiber from who? Who's it from? Oh my gosh. Is it Cloud Lover? It doesn't say. I think it's Cloud Lover. I'm pretty sure this is Cloud Lover, which I'm pretty sure is a fiber dyeing business that is no longer in business. But this is the December 2014 Fiber Club Organic Polworth and Silk. It's called Spice Cake. This is the fiber. It's like seriously delightful. Just beautiful. It's browns and oranges and pinks, and like it's like magenta-y pinks. And it's like super soft. So I split it into two equal sections, and this is the first bobbin. I just spun it straight up from the braid. Short forward combo, short backward draw. And it's like a lace to fingering weight. It's like a lace to lightweight single. So I think it's going to be a heavy fingering, maybe sport weight. Once it's plied, it'll be a 2-ply. And I have the other half currently spinning on my wheel. So I didn't take that bobbin off, but I'm probably a quarter, maybe a third of the way through the second half of this fiber. And I love it. I'm really enjoying spinning this. I love this stuff. When dyers leave these white spots in fiber when they dye it, it just like gives these like kind of like, it gives this like sheen, like all of that. It looks like shiny, but it's really just the white stuff spun in there. Oh, I love it. I just love that style. I love that technique. I love it. It's beautiful. It gives like a highlight. Like it reminds me of like with makeup, you have highlighter. Like to give like just like certain parts of your face like this like pop of shine. I feel like that's what leaving white in fiber does for the singles and for the plied yarn. I love it. So I'm really enjoying this, but I also just really want to hurry up and get it off of my spinning wheel because I bought some fiber. So I had gotten some suggestions for some fiber producers, sellers, for the type of fiber I was looking for. So I'm really into this type of spinning fiber that I don't have much actual experience with because I haven't found many people that sell this. And what I want in my head is like, I want bats. And the bats are wool, undyed, natural, breed-specific wool. And blended into that wool is like bits and pops of other things, like dyed wool and like silk and like sparkle and just like, I don't know, maybe bamboo. I don't love bamboo, but like stuff like that. Like I want like mostly a big fluffy bat of just like breed specific natural woolly wool with like blended with other cool pops of color and like, and I know there are a couple like Classy Squid kind of meets that for me, and I've spun with her fiber and it's really beautiful. Artifacts of Appreciation is another fiber producer that does pretty much what I want. And I haven't tried her stuff. I've caught a couple of her updates, but it's just really expensive. So I haven't like taken the plunge into buying one of those bats yet. But it's like she's another one that makes what I'm looking for, and her stuff is like absolutely gorgeous. Like seriously, you should check out her Instagram. Her bats are amazing. And another fiber producer that people suggested to me when I said I was looking for stuff like that was Inglenook Fibers. And I found myself on their website like last week, and I was like super drawn to this stuff. Their stuff is also very beautiful. It's definitely a little bit different than like what I have in mind when I'm thinking about what I want, but it's gorgeous. And they seem to really deal with breed specific fibers in natural colors, but like blending in dyed other things. So I bought some of their fiber and I'm really excited to get it on the wheel. And I'm going to show you what I got. So the first thing that I just like fell in love with and like kind of spurred the like, yes, I'm definitely going to order something thing is the Glittering Caves, which is in their Middle Earth collection, which is a Lord of the Rings thing. So this is the first thing that I got. This is 2 ounces. And look at that. Like seriously, this is like very Halloween-like to me, and I want this to be my Halloween spin. Check that out. Like really? Look at this. Oh my gosh. I just love it. It's so pretty. Okay, so this is the Glittering Caves. That's the colorway. And it's 45% merino, 25% black Shetland, 15% sari silk, 10% Tussa silk, and 5% spolina. And it's in like the Tolkien collection, and that's like the image that it was based on. So I'm very, very excited about this. And I just got 2 ounces, and it's so pretty. It's like, this screamed Halloween to me, and I needed it. Like I needed it. And the other little collection that they had that I was very drawn to was like their pie collection. So I picked this one out, and this has got some like natural brown and then these other colors blended in. And this is another 2-ounce. I don't know what it is. Is it like a bat that's just kind of long? Or is it like roving? I don't have any idea. I don't know. But this is a strawberry cream pie, and it's 40% merino, 25% Manx, 25% tweed blend, and 10% mulberry silk. And so what I really like about Inglenook is they seem to take different breed specific wools, and I like, you don't just see like all merino or something mixed in with like silk and stuff. It's like there's Manx and there's Shetland and like stuff, and I don't know, I really like what they have. And then the other thing that I got is from their Shetland sock series, and this is 4 ounces. And this is 60% Shetland, 30% bio nylon, and 10% Gotland. And this is in the rosemary colorway. So this is greens and grays, like all blended really nicely and like uniformly. And so this is definitely going to be some hand spun socks. Hand spun socks are like my favorite. They're like straight up 100% my favorite hand knit socks are knit out of hand spun. I love them. So that's what I got. And they also sent me this little sample packet, which is 50% merino, 50% tencel. So that'll be fun to play with. And I'm very excited about trying this fiber. And the next thing that I purchased is a new project bag. I could not help myself when I saw it on her Instagram. This Handmade Life is selling patchwork project bags right now, so you should definitely check that out because they're so cool. And they're all like really fall inspired, and this is the one I got. Oh, I love it so much. I love this Handmade Life's Instagram, and her bags are just like so incredibly beautiful. It's this beautiful solid floral on the back. And then the inside, I absolutely love. There's like those little crosses on there. And it's a drawstring. And it's just like, I love the color scheme. It's peaches and oranges and pinks and like mints, and it's beautiful. So I'm very excited. I haven't bought a new project bag in a long time, and I'm very excited about this one. So I haven't cast on a new project since I bought this bag, so there's nothing in it yet. But there will be soon. As soon as I have a new project on, it's definitely going straight into this bag. So if you don't follow her on Instagram yet, you should. It's lovely. She's still making more of these bags. She's like, I think it seems like she's making them in like quantities and then putting them up in the shop and doing that like kind of repeatedly. So I definitely think if you're interested in a bag like this and you follow her, you have a chance of getting one, even though I think they do sell out pretty quick. So I'm super stoked about that. Okay, let's move on after I take a drink of water to what I've been watching and reading. Hi. Okay, what I've been reading. The book that I finished most recently was Becky Chambers' new book. And if you've been here for a while, you know that I heart Becky Chambers. I love everything she writes, just like everything. Becky Chambers is a local to me author. Like, really, I could be friends with Becky Chambers if I ran into her at the grocery store. I have no idea. I know she lives in like my county, which is like so cool. But anyway, she's a science fiction author, and her style of science fiction is one that I'm just like really into right now. It's really fun and kind of like space adventure kind of science fiction, but it's lighthearted, but it's also very like thinky. Like, she blends science fiction with like current real world topics that are actually important. Her books are all pretty representative and inclusive, and she writes these characters that are pretty diverse in terms of like culturally diverse. There's people with disabilities in her books. There's a lot of like LGBTQ plus representation in her books. And I just really, really like her writing style. I love all of her books. And her most recent book is the first in a series called, I think it's called the Monk and Robot series. And it's called A Psalm for the Wild Built. And it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. I do like, I read books on my phone, so it's hard for me when I read ebooks to gauge how long the actual book is. So, but I think it was like pretty short, and it's pretty lighthearted, but it's the same. It deals with, this one deals a lot with issues of environmentalism, and the main character is non-binary. The other main character is a robot, and it's a robot and a monk, and they meet each other, and some of it is a little annoying. Like, you know how you read a book and there's like a character and they just like certain things that they do just annoy you and you're like, why are they like that? There was a little bit of that in this book, but overall it was a really like pleasant, comfortable read. You know what I mean? Like, nothing crazy happens. It's all just very slow paced, but like cute and comfy and cozy. And it's the first in a series, so I'm really looking forward to the next book when it comes out. I'm definitely going to read it as soon as it comes out. This book actually pre-ordered. Whenever Becky Chambers is the only author where I pre-order the book every single time, and I read it right when it comes out. So, A Psalm for the Wild Built, it was really good, and it was a really quick and fun and, like I said, like cozy read. So I definitely recommend that one. And it's not even that sci-fi. I mean, like, other than the fact that it takes place like in a world that isn't, you know, real Earth and there's robots, it's not very sci-fi at all. If you're not into sci-fi, I think this one would be not annoyingly sci-fi, you know what I mean? So yeah, that one was great. And the book I'm reading right now is Haruki Murakami's newest book, and it's called Killing Commendatore. And this is a really long book. A lot of his books are pretty lengthy. Murakami is one of my very favorite authors. His books are, I would classify them as magical realism, and kind of how me and my husband joke about his books and this is like kind of across a lot of his books, it's like 500 pages of like really cozy daily routines in a slow lead up to magical realism. A really slow 500-page lead up of just like making coffee and pasta. Lead up to like some weird shit, pretty much. And this book is like exactly that. Like, the first part of the book is just so, it's another like super cozy, comforting, like, you know, there's a lot of like details like making tomato sauce and drinking coffee and having a whiskey, and like, you know, it's about a painter, and so like sitting in front of his canvas and like, you know, just kind of like dictating his daily routines, and I just really like stuff like that. And it's just written in a really great, really enticing way. Listening to records, there's lots of listening to records in Murakami's books, and I love that. But there is definitely some magical realism happening. I'm like not even halfway through, and I'm starting to get to the point where some like magic-y stuff is kind of happening, and some of it's like a teeny bit creepy, but it's not creepy at all. Like, it's not a creepy book, but some of it's just a little like, but yeah, there's definitely some weird figures emerging in this book, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's pretty much about a painter who starts a new life, pretty much because him and his wife split up, and he goes to live by himself in the mountains in a house that was previously occupied by a famous painter, and some weird shit happens out in the mountains. I mean, not like creepy weird, like it's not a horror movie or anything. It's like not. But it's really good. I mean, I can't read a Murakami book and not just say it's really good, because that's what it is. But and also, I'm not even halfway done with it yet, but I'm really enjoying it. It's called Killing Commendatore, which the name comes from, you find out pretty early in the book that the name of the book is the name of a painting in the book. And the painting so far seems to be pretty significant, obviously, because it's the name of the book. But Killing Commendatore is a painting that was based on an opera, and there's a lot of opera in this book too. So it's based on an opera, which is, I can't remember what opera it is. I don't know anything about opera, but anyway. Yeah, definitely recommend it if you're into cozy magical realism that's really long and really slow. And what I've been watching, I'm going to go through this stuff really quick because I've been watching a lot of really good television lately, and I don't want to spend like a ton of time on it, but I'm just going to tell you what I wanted to tell you about kind of quick because it's so good. Oh, I just love all of this TV right now. The first one is something that I think is going to appeal to the knitting audience because a lot of knitters seem to like the whole true crime thing. I personally don't, but there's a show called Only Murders in the Building, and it's like inspired by true crime podcasts, and it's like meta. It's like got a true crime podcast in it. It's very good. It's with Steve Martin and Martin Short and what's her face? Dang it. Why don't I write this stuff down? Who is it? What is her name? Only Murders in the Building with, what is her name? She's got a makeup line. Selena Gomez. And I love Selena Gomez. I don't know her music, but she was in The Dead Don't Die, which is a Jim Jarmusch zombie movie, which I really liked, and she was so good in it, and she's so good in this show, and I love her. So it's with them three, and they live in a fancy New York apartment building. There's a death in the building, and they're trying to, they start a podcast about trying to figure out who murdered this person. And I don't typically like true crime. I don't like detective stuff. I don't like murdery stuff. I'm just not into that kind of thing. But this show has something beyond like the plot line that I just love. It's got style. The characters are funny and charming, and everyone just there's just this like what do you call it? Like everything clicks in a way that's very pleasing to me. I really like it. And it's a show that's currently coming out, and so I just, the last thing I watched was the last episode, and at this point, if you're watching this currently, the last episode, you're like, ah! So, I don't know where it's going to go, but I love it. It's definitely starting to get a little dark for me in terms of the whole murdery business, but I really love it. The next show is called Reservation Dogs, which is a show that's made by, Waititi's his name. He's a director that I absolutely love. It's Halloween season, so he did the vampire movie called What We Do in the Shadows. That's a really good movie, but he also has done Hunt for the Wilder People, which is like my favorite movie of his. And he's pretty much a film director, but he's done a TV show, and I love everything he does. And this TV show is like so amazing. It's called Reservation Dogs, and it's about a group of kids, a group of teenagers who live on a Native American reservation and kind of what they do. And there's just a lot going on in this show. And it's one of these really great TV shows where there's like a running plot line, like across all episodes, but each episode is pretty episodic and like telling a story and like diving deeper into like smaller parts of this community on this reservation. And the characters in this show are just amazing. And the way they interact with each other, the stories that are told in each episode are just so good and so funny and so engrossing, and it's so good. It's so good. I mean, kind of the general basis of it is that this group of teenagers are committing petty crimes to try to save up money to move to California to kind of get out of being stuck in this place, and kind of everything that goes along with that. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, anyway, there's that. Reservation Dogs. Like, I think you should watch it. I think you should watch that show for sure. Sex Education just came out with their 3rd season, and I'm like so happy. Sex Education is one of my very favorite shows of all time. I love it, and this 3rd season is so good. I started getting into Sex Education because one of my very favorite musicians, Ezra Furman, does a lot of songs for the show, and her music is just like my favorite in the whole entire world. And it's great because her music, she wrote original songs for every season, and so this current season that's coming out, there's a few new Ezra Furman songs, and I really didn't want to spoil it, so I haven't listened to any of the songs before watching the season because I wanted to just hear them brand new in the show. And so that's been really fun. Every time there's like one, I think, new Ezra Furman song per episode, and every time it comes on, it's just like, yay. But the show's really good. It's again about teenagers, but it's pretty much about I don't know how to describe it. Sex positivity in the modern world. I don't know. But it's really good. And it takes place in the UK, and everything about it is beautiful. The scenery where they live is just incredibly beautiful. They go to this like giant like academy that's like made out of like stones and stuff. It's like beautiful and old. And it's really good. A lot of good stuff happens in this 3rd season, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's all out right now. Like, I think the whole series is out, but we're trying to take it slow because we don't want to, we don't want it to be over too soon. Lower Decks. It's a Star Trek cartoon. It's so good. It's about the Lower Decks, the red shirts, I guess, the people on a Star Trek ship that aren't like the top level people. They're like the grunt work people, and it's just funny. It's a funny cartoon, and I love Star Trek. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but I'm picky about what Star Treks I like. I haven't liked any new Star Treks like almost ever. Like, I like the original series. I can tolerate the Next Generation. I don't love it, but I'm okay with it. And then this, and I haven't liked any other Star Treks. But this Star Trek is just, it's lighthearted and it's funny, and it's a cartoon, and I love cartoons. So you might be into that kind of thing, you might not be into that kind of thing, but it's really good. And I think it's in its 2nd season right now, and it's currently coming out, so that's very enjoyable. Okay, the next show is just so good. I think it's coming out in like its 2nd or 3rd season. I don't remember. But it's Nora from Queens, and it's with Awkwafina. And Awkwafina is like one of my very favorite people ever. I love her. And she's super funny. So it's about this girl, Nora, played by Awkwafina, who lives in Queens, and she's young, and she's trying to get, figure out her life. She lives with her dad and her grandma still, and she kind of plays this character that's like trying to figure herself out, but like kind of can't keep a job and stuff like that. And it's just funny. It's funny, and it's self-deprecating, and I love it. And also, Bowen Yang is in it, who, I don't know if you watch Saturday Night Live. I like Saturday Night Live okay, and me and Colin watch it pretty regularly. And in my opinion, for the past little while, the single best thing about Saturday Night Live is Bowen Yang. I feel like he needs to be much higher up than he is in the Saturday Night Live thing, because he is like, him and the news people are like the only really truly great things about Saturday Night Live, in my opinion. And Bowen Yang is in Awkwafina or Nora from Queens sometimes, and that just makes me really happy. I love Bowen Yang. and Aquafina. So that's good. It's just like, it's a sitcom, it's a comedy. It's kind of raunchy. I like it. And then the last thing is Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is really freaking funny. And it's really like, it's another one of those shows where it's just everybody's likable. Even the people who aren't likable are likable, kind of. And it's just a really like, you know, feel good kind of show. And it's about this American named Ted Lasso who is a football coach, and he gets hired in England to coach a football, but soccer, you know, football team. And yeah, he's a football coach. And it's about the sport, but it's about the people. And soccer, I call it soccer, I can't help it. Soccer is one of the only like sports that I actually like watching, and so it's kind of fun in that way. Soccer and boxing are the only two sports that I like watching, in case you're curious. And yeah, I don't know, it's good. He's like really, he's a really pleasant person, but it ends up diving deeper into like, you know, his issues and like his relationships. It's all about relationships in this show, like a lot of shows are. It's all about the people's relationships with each other, and all of the characters are just so, oh, you just want to know them in real life. You just want to hang out with all these people. So it's just a nice, good, fun, funny, feel-good show. And it's good, and I like it a lot. And that's it. That is all I have to talk about. That was a lot of stuff. So I would love to hear about what you are watching or what you're reading right now. I know there's a lot. There's so many good books, and there's so much good television. I am definitely a person who's into television. I think that television is like actually pretty important. Like, it's a form of media that is consumed by so many people. So I think it's important. I mean, so many people watch it, and I think the stories that television have to tell, I think those stories matter in the daily lives of people and how they go about their day, you know? I mean, I think TV is just as important as books. I really do. Okay. You're like, I don't care. I could talk about TV for a long time. I have a lot of opinions about TV for some reason. But I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. This was probably a long one. And yeah, I really would love to hear about the things that you're reading and the things that you're watching. Movies too. Movies is a whole nother area of things that I have like a million things to say about. But I haven't watched any movies lately, sadly. Okay. Deep breath. Thank you again for being here. I really appreciate your time and your company, and please do leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. And if you liked this episode, please do feel free to like, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out any of my arenas of contribution if you're interested in staking your place in the giveaway for this fourth quarter, which hopefully by next episode I'll have figured out what the prize will be, and I will be working on it. And is that it? Is it time to say goodbye? It's time to say goodbye. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.